Hey, welcome to the First Order. You can reach us at firstordermoviereviews@gmail.com and on Instagram at firstorder.moviereviews. Please be sure to leave us iTunes reviews to help us spread our podcast around. This week, the team reviews Kingsman: The Secret Service, and I'm here with Emerson.
Hey, what's up?
And Everett.
Hey, what's going on?
Hey, all right. So, Kingsman: The Secret Service. I know we said I was going to do Thor this week, but we're going to push that back to October, right before Thor Ragnarok. So, what did you guys think of Kingsman: The Secret Service? Had any of you guys seen this before?
I had seen it
Yes,
before.
I have.
I had seen it, and I didn't really pay attention to it. And then the church scene happened, and I was like, maybe I should have watched that movie. And so, yeah, I've been
really
looking
liked
forward to it.
I
really liked it.
Yeah.
It's a little weird, though.
Well, it's an homage. It's an homage to like the silly spy movies in a lot of ways.
So it was a comic book before, right?
I'm not sure.
Might have
I think it's big. I couldn't decide. I mean, like the music is comic book music. Like you hear the comic book themes. It sounds like Avengers half the time. I was watching it with my wife, and she said that. And then like it's got this like
Kingsman:
you
The
said,
Secret
homage.
Service was a comic book first.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting. I didn't know
I
that.
thought so. Yeah. So it has it's got the homage to like the old spy movies with like modern-ish music and modern action, modern plot, and then it's got like just its own sort of style that I couldn't really. I don't know how to describe.
Well, there's a little bit, especially in the church scene, of like the John Wick type long fight, but it's different because in John Wick it's gritty and it's dark, and this is more upbeat. Still good, but it's upbeat.
Yeah, the fight scenes in this movie were really kick-ass.
I thought, the action was really great. I think one of the best action sequences was probably the plane. The parachuting scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
That was
because I think
probably
they
the
were
best one.
actually filming people doing some of that.
Yeah, that looked pretty practical and just like the pacing of it, the tension. But having said that, they have a lot of like tracking shots in this movie, and the background of the CGI, it's a bit wonky at times.
I agree. I have seen that, but they hide it pretty well too in some cases. So
Yeah. Well, I mean, you only notice the bad ones.
yeah.
But I didn't. Some of the CGI, I was just like, I'm assuming they had a weak budget for this, and so they just had to like. That was just the CGI that they got. But hopefully the sequel will have more.
Yeah.
What'd you guys think of Samuel L. Jackson as the villain?
I liked him. I
Yeah,
liked him a lot. And you know he actually has a lisp in real life.
Does he?
Yeah, he
Yeah.
actually has a lisp.
That's his actual.
Yeah, that's how he actually talks.
Oh. No. I mean, he's obviously learned to fix it.
Well, yeah, but I'm saying that's like
What the
that's
fuck?
when he's not compensating.
He said in interviews he learned to fix his swearing, not his swearing. He learned to fix his lisp by swearing.
Yeah, he uses. It's like there's a. Yeah, he originally had a lisp, and the way he was able to fix it is he swears to build confidence.
All right, that's interesting. Some of the action here is really stylized. Like the fighting is meant to be like artistic in a way, instead of like John Wick is so like straight to the point,
Yeah.
over the top violence, brutality. This is like they change camera angles to show the guy swinging around. I was a little confused about what happened at the end when so Samuel L. Jackson put chips in all his friends also.
Well, okay, so the idea was that he put chips in everyone who knew about the plan because if they tried to talk about it, he would blow their heads up so they wouldn't like leak what was happening.
Yeah.
And so that meant that every single member of the security teams and everyone at the bunkers around the world had the chip in their head. And I think the chip in their head also made them immune to the signal. So they wouldn't all
Okay.
start killing each other. So so they all had the chips, and then
But that doesn't make sense.
he hacked in and killed them. How does that not make sense?
I thought he was giving out all the free SIM cards to everyone. By getting that chip, I thought that's what made you hyper violent.
No,
it
he means
seemed
the
like-
chips in their neck.
Oh.
Yeah, he had like all his friends on the ship, the Ark. All of them had chips, and then remember they like went crazy on each other. Or no, they blew them up like fireworks, right?
Yeah, and that was in the mountain bunker.
Yeah.
They all had the chips, and like even like it shows around the world that all the powerful government people had chips. They were given the chip to make it so they wouldn't go violent, and they could be blown up if they tried to leak it.
Oh, I actually didn't know that. Yeah, no, I thought they were the same. Never mind. Because I remember I confused that they said a line like during the church scene, like, oh, people go nuts whether they have a SIM card or not.
Well, yeah, what they meant is like whether their phone has the SIM card or
Yeah.
not.
Okay, never mind. My mistake.
So was that like some sort of were they trying to comment on like people who go out and buy the newest phones? Were they trying to
I
make
don't
some
know.
commentary about that?
I just think I think they're trying to make more commentary about the people who decide that the best way to save the planet is to kill like 3 billion people. I think they were making fun of it, but I didn't really see a bunch of phone commentary. It just seemed like the only realistic way you could do it that isn't like spraying a gas.
I actually liked his explanation about the virus.
Mm-hmm.
How he says humanity is a virus and Earth is the host, and in order to get rid of the virus, you have to heat it up. Is that what he was saying?
Yeah.
Right?
Either
the
the
host
virus
warns.
kills the host,
just like
or
when
the host kills the
when
virus.
we get sick, we have a fever and that's so that you can combat the virus. So then either the host dies or the virus dies. So
Yeah.
like that actually makes a lot of sense though. Like that makes him a good villain because like you can't really argue with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he
He's
said,
right.
what was that, like carbon emissions and everything, like the Earth slowly heating up, like the atmosphere and everything?
I mean, that's what's actually happening.
Yeah, global warming was the fever.
Yeah, but he decided that to kill off more people so that global warming slows down. Is that it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. The thing about the dogs, killing the dog,
Yeah.
did you guys see that coming?
Not really.
I mean,
the first time I
the
saw it,
first
I
time
didn't
I
see it.
watched it, I had no idea. And I was like, holy shit, when I saw it.
Yeah. See, I saw it coming because he had done that thing earlier with the parachute. Where I'm like, they're not really willing to kill people, and if he's telling you to shoot a puppy, then there's probably like some other thing going on here. Like they don't just shoot puppies.
I
They
think,
don't seem.
well, wasn't the purpose of that exercise just to prove that if in a no-win situation, he could pull the trigger if he absolutely needed to?
Yeah, but like I said, they already proved that even if they put you in a no-win situation, it's a lie. Like the parachute thing, they
Yeah,
tell
and
you
later
one of you
they-
doesn't have one.
Later, they explained that woman who drowned didn't even drown. So,
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, like I'm not saying it was like in his face, but after the parachute thing where you almost die, I would be like, okay, I'm not believing anything anyone says anymore. But yeah, and then it's like killing an innocent little puppy as it stares you in the face. And I'm like, I was just like, there's no way they're going to make him kill the puppy. I mean, they played the scene well, all except the part where he's just like pointing the gun in the dog's face.
yeah.
Like, it's just like, okay, you're either going to pull the trigger or not. And then he points it at Alfred like he's going to actually shoot him.
Alfred.
Like, but he does point it like he's about to turn the gun on him.
Yeah. Yeah,
And
he does.
I'm like, and that never gets addressed. Like, because the gunshot comes off, and then they're just like, well, she passed, so you're forgiven for this, but you're out. Like, they never talk about, like, he was literally about to point a gun at him because he asked him to shoot a puppy.
Well, yeah, I mean, he wasn't nervous because it was a blank.
yeah, but
Yeah, but, like, he's
the other
still-
guy didn't know it was a blank.
Yeah.
Eggsy
they're-
didn't know it was a blank.
They're still judging him by his actions, otherwise the whole thing falls apart.
Yeah.
But I don't think that was as good as the parachute thing. The parachute thing I think was better.
Yeah. I like the
Um,
parachute thing.
You know when Colin Firth goes up to Samuel L. Jackson's mansion and he he says they have dinner and it's McDonald's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I was like, I would like that dinner. Like, that looked good.
Yeah,
to
it
me.
did look pretty good. I have to be honest. It looks really good.
Speaking of Colin Firth, he was like probably the best part of this movie.
Mm.
In my opinion, I think that I didn't really like the guy, Taron Egerton.
Eggsy?
Yeah, I didn't really like Eggsy.
I liked
And
him alright.
he looks and dresses like a 16-year-old, but he's like ex-military.
Yeah, that's a
And
fair point,
then-
because I had forgotten when I started watching this movie, I assumed he was 17 maybe. But then they brought up that he'd been in the Royal Marines. And,
and kicked out.
I was just...
I thought he
I
gave
didn't
up.
understand.
I don't think he was kicked out. I think he gave up.
Yeah, he quit training. But I didn't understand...
Whatever.
Why is he... if he was in the Royal Marines, why are the drug dealers messing with him?
Well, no, those are.
And why is he getting bullied like a middle school kid?
Yeah.
Those guys are all part of his stepfather's like crew, so they follow his orders, and they're all messing with him because
Yeah, but
He
like
and his
the whole
stepfather hate each other.
context of the situation, he's like sitting in a bar with his friends, and they're like, "Don't look at those guys," and they're all dressed like teenagers, aren't they?
kinda.
I mean, I think in England you can work on the Royal Marines before you're 20, so they might be younger.
Maybe.
But it
I don't know.
specifically said that he was in basic training.
Right, but you can join basic training at an earlier age in the UK, I think.
It was weird to me, and then when he started dressing like a Kingsman, he like suddenly looked like 40. He like looked a lot older. I don't know
Yeah.
what's going on. But yeah, I'd rather. I didn't really like the kid. I liked Colin Firth way better as Galahad. Like he was way more interesting. I'd rather see a movie all about him, and maybe even a sequel.
He's gonna be in the second one.
Is he?
Hmm.
I mean,
in the trailer,
say
you see
Harry.
him with a. In the trailer, yeah, they say Harry, but they're also looking at him as he shaves with an eye patch.
I thought that was Rob Lowe.
No.
No, that's him.
Oh, what the hell? Okay. Yeah, I mean, I was confused because I know he says his name. He's like Harry, and I know that Colin Firth's character's name is Harry, but I thought that was Rob Lowe. So I'm like, I guess that's like they're not giving it away, whatever it is. But I guess they did give it away. I just couldn't tell. Okay.
What did you think of Mark Strong in this movie?
I like him. Every time I see him, I think, too bad
Eggsy
he
was
was Sinestro
18.
already.
In this movie, he was
What'd you say,
18.
Emerson?
Eggsy was 18 in this movie.
He was 18?
Yeah.
Okay. See, that doesn't really come across either. Like,
Mm. But-
I still picture him like 15, 16. Anyway, yeah, Mark Strong, he's good, but like I keep thinking of him as Sinestro and Green Lantern, and how like we can't have him as Sinestro again now. I wish they would. I wish they'd just recast them. again.
Wait. Mark Strong was Sinestro?
Yeah, in the Green Lantern movie, and he was good. That was the best part of the movie.
Wow, actually, I didn't know that. Wow.
It's pretty good casting, but what are you gonna do? I noticed the Metacritic score on this is 58 and the Rotten Tomatoes score is 76, but I feel like people like this a lot more than that.
Yeah,
Pretty sure
definitely.
the church scene definitely gives it a boost when you see this movie.
I don't know why when Jade and I were watching this, we both were confused about why everyone went crazy. Like for some reason I couldn't remember, like it was the phones, but they didn't say until after that everyone in the church was going crazy whether they had a phone or not. So when he started killing people for the first 10 minutes, I was like, I liked the action, but I was like, this is way out of character for him.
Well, I think that's the point. You're supposed to be like, why is he going nuts?
Yeah, well, and then you figure it out. Anyway, so the director of this movie is Matthew Vaughn.
Mhm.
And so I think he did one of the X-Men movies. Did he do First Class?
Let me check it out.
Recently, he stated that he's in talks to do Man of Steel 2.
He did First Class, Kick-Ass, and Kingsman.
Kick-Ass was him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's in talks for Man of Steel too. I kind of wanted George Miller to do it.
What else has he done?
George Miller's Mad Max.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure that's George Miller. He was in talks for it briefly too, but he's a bit older. So, did they kill Obama in this movie?
Yes,
Yep.
they did.
That when Obama showed up, I couldn't tell. Are they making fun of themselves? Are they parroting spy movies? Or I couldn't understand. Like sometimes I miss the tone of it. It's got like a wacky flavor to it in random parts. Other times it takes itself very seriously. Like when the mom is trying to kill her baby.
Yeah, that's
Like, it's like all over the place. The original scene where Eggsy's dad dies, I didn't really like. I like that, but I feel like the character of his dad is not given enough time for him to matter.
Yeah.
Because he's like the catalyst. So like you like don't even see his entire face. You see half his face, very briefly.
Yeah, but they didn't want to focus on the dad, I guess.
Yeah, not at all. But what about the names, the code names?
The
They're
Knights.
the Knights of the Round Table.
Yeah, so you had Arthur, which was Michael Caine.
Yeah. Galahad, Merlin.
Yeah, I mean those are obvious. Then Lancelot. Who was his dad? Who was Eggsy's dad?
His dad was trying to be Lancelot, right?
Was he?
Wasn't it?
And
Yeah,
then they-
because
and then-
Lancelot's the one who ends up succeeding him and then dies at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. So are there any others? Is it
Yeah.
like how many
Because-
knights were in the Round Table?
Let's find out.
There's Sir Gawain, right? Isn't or Gawain? I don't. Then there's the evil ones. Are they? Who are the backstabbers?
I'm finding out right now.
I think it might have been.
There
Lancelot,
are-
Was it?
The Winchester Round Table shows 25 knights, and stories range from 12 to 150.
Jesus.
I mean, like we saw a lot
Yeah.
of people in those holograms that we just didn't get to see.
There's Lancelot,
Who was
Gawain, Geraint, Percival, Kay,
Percival.
Gareth, Galahad, Tristan, Gaharis, Bedivere, Bors, Lamorak.
I'd like to see more of those. Maybe the
Mordred was a betrayer, I think.
Mordred was his son, Arthur's son, right? I think so. But then also, like, didn't Guinevere have an affair with Lancelot?
I think so.
Or one of them? There was something like that.
God, there's a lot with G. There's Gaharis, Galahad, Geraint, Gingaline. Huh.
You know, one thing I didn't notice about this movie the first time I watched it, but when I watched it this time, I noticed it, like, finally, that Jack Davenport's in this movie. You guys know who he is?
That name sounds familiar.
He's the guy that plays Lancelot who gets sawn in half, but,
Oh, he was in the Pirates of the Caribbean
Yeah,
movie.
he
He,
was in-
played the Admiral.
yeah, he was, I forget his name,
Commodore something or other.
Norrington.
Norrington, there we go. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought that was kind of cool.
I don't know him. And then, so for the sequel, I'm thinking like it seems like they have American agents,
Yeah, it's
Yeah, the
Statesman.
Statesman.
and so there must be. What do you think their code names will be?
I think they'll
Brands
be named
of
after
liquor.
states.
Or brands of liquor.
I was thinking maybe president last names like Jefferson, Washington.
That could be good.
But I noticed Pedro Pascal is in it,
Yes.
and he's playing an American, a statesman. So I wonder what that's about, because he doesn't have an American accent.
I'm excited to see Jeff Bridges in this movie.
Yeah, and Julianne Moore looks like she's going to be the villain.
Yeah.
Seems like. The one thing that threw me at the end of this movie was the Scandinavian princess and the anal sex? Is that what was
Yeah,
going on?
that's what.
That's what was going on.
What the hell were they? That like came out of nowhere.
Yeah, I kind of forgot this movie
The
was
movie,
R-rated.
the movie didn't even have like real sexual overtones, did it?
Not really.
No.
Like, am I forgetting? Like that? You think in a movie that has that at the end, they would have like some sex scene between him and Roxy?
Yeah, the other
But
agent.
there wasn't really anything except a few people threatening to have sex with his mom or something, right? Wasn't that?
That was implied, yes.
And then there was just a lot of over the top violence, but all of a sudden it's just like, I mean, I don't know about you. I wasn't thinking, you know what this movie needs is for the woman to offer him anal sex if he saves the world. And then
Yeah,
it
came.
like the way it ends is just like it's just awkward. Like he goes in, it's like fine, they close the door, and then Merlin's watching, and he's like, "Oh, what's going on here?" And it like closes on her butt. I mean, it's just like it's funny, but I just can't understand. Is this movie trying to take itself seriously, or what? It seems to not care at certain points, like at all. And I'm surprised that that got through. Like, was that in the comic book? I have no idea.
Oh, apparently Holly Berry is in Golden Circle too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yes, I didn't like the haircut she had. It's in a weird one. Like sometimes people cast really beautiful people in movies, and then, like, I don't know, they just make them look weird. I don't get the point of that. So anyway, I don't have a whole lot more to say about this one, but I have some news.
Yep.
So did you guys hear that there's a new Star Wars director for Episode 9?
No.
No.
So they had Colin Trevorrow, he was going to do it, and then he got canned.
Is J.J. Abrams coming back?
Yeah, it's going to be J.J. Abrams.
Nice.
So I feel like the
like
timing
J.J.
of this is
Abrams.
interesting. Well, people criticize Force Awakens for being kind of a safe movie, which I think is like, for the amount of pressure it had on it, is perfectly acceptable.
Yeah.
But you have so Kathleen Kennedy drops Colin Trevorrow a few months after they dropped Lord and Miller from the Han Solo movie, and that was like with days of production left. So this one, you assume, is basically set in stone because number 8 is set in stone. So they're not changing number 9 at this point. And so something must have happened because that movie has to be finished. Number 8 has to be finished. And number 9, I don't even know if it's started shooting yet, but whatever is going on, like, you think at this point there'd be no turning back. So you're just going to drop a director and find J.J. Abrams, who, I don't know. Sometimes I get the feeling like it was J.J. Abrams' vision that he started in Episode 7 that the studio agreed should be all the way through Episode 9, and then Colin Trevorrow was like, well, I want to have my own vision, and like they just agreed to disagree, and then J.J. Abrams just jumps right back in. It was like a day between the news. So I don't know what's going on there.
Does that mean something bad might be happening with 8 then?
I mean, no, I think that guy, I forget who it is, Ryan Thompson, I think that guy is just like, he's either telling them what they want to hear or just generally on board with whatever's going on. But I think something might be wrong with 9 for sure. I don't know. The release date is December 20th, 2019, but it may get delayed because of this. So
Yeah.
we will see. Joss Whedon is going to be given a writer credit for Justice League, which means that he wrote 33.333% of the movie.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's the interesting part, is that that's 1/3 of the movie. So
But he came on pretty late, which means he must have rewrote a lot of it.
yeah, that's what that means. Yeah, and
That-
it could
that
be
could
just
be,
dialogue. I mean, they actually analyze it. They like go through, and it's not like an estimation. They analyze it, and if he gets more than 33%, he gets a writer credit. Among I forget who the other guy was, but Zack Snyder's obviously one of them. I think it was the Argo guy. I don't remember his name.
But okay, so wait, that's good though, isn't it?
It has potential. I mean,
I mean,
I
it's
mean,
probably good
I
he's
don't.
moving it along because from what we saw, it looks problematic, and from what DC's been doing, has been problematic.
I
So
think I think the foundation is problematic. I don't know that it's like a third of the writing that needs to be revised. I mean, that's. I think it would be better if it was like a different movie entirely, different universe entirely. But I don't know, and I don't like Whedon's dialogue. That was the worst part of Age of Ultron is that snappy, witty dialogues. Like, shut up.
and he runs the risk if he just tries to copy that for DC, then DC just looks like worse Marvel. Which
Yeah.
kind of already is looking like that, but at least they had their own theme going for them. They were trying to be darker and more serious.
I mean, they just needed a better writer and have Zack Snyder do the visuals. 'Cause he's like one of the best in the world at that. And I don't know, the writing is just what was letting him down most of the time. So anyway, we're pretty close to that movie. By the way, I found out Jade went and bought tickets to Europe on November 16th, and I believe Justice League comes out that day. So I'm not going to get to see it until like after Thanksgiving when we come back.
So you're going to Europe for Thanksgiving?
Yeah. Surprise.
When is that?
I mean, that's November 16th.
November 16th.
Thanksgiving.
Okay. Jesus.
It's that week, that whole week. So, yeah, I know most people would be excited to go to Europe, but I'm like, seriously, I'm missing Justice League.
what are you guys doing in Europe?
I don't know, trying to catch a Mr. Mime.
There you go.
Did you see I mean, if I don't catch a Mr. Mime, I'll be pissed. But did you guys see the new photo of Hellboy?
I did. He looks exactly like Ron Perlman still.
He looks just like Ron Perlman, which is fine. I think that's part of the reason why they cast him. Like, he had the forehead and the chin. And he looks a little bit like a younger version. So it's like, whatever.
You know Thanksgiving's on the 23rd, right?
Yeah, but I'm gone that whole week.
But you'll be able to see if it comes out on the 16th.
No, because I'm leaving the 16th.
Oh, you're leaving right after school? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm leaving. So, anyway.
Maybe we'll wait to see it till you come back, obviously. Like to review it.
Yeah, but our review will be late. Anyway, so Stan Lee had an interview where he said that Marvel Studios is trying really hard to get the X-Men rights back.
Ooh, that's good.
I don't know if he's just like... I'm sure they're always trying, but like, that's not going to happen.
No. They'd have to make a deal.
They have to make a deal. They've already got the other stupid movies in the works, like Dark Phoenix or whatever, Dark Bird, whatever they're calling it.
Dark Bird.
I
mean,
know.
they didn't even like
Birdman. It's literally our movie.
They had like Mr. Sinister plot lines in the last movie, so maybe they're gonna do that.
Yeah, what are they?
Yeah, I would much rather have Mr. Sinister than X-Men in the Marvel Universe.
It's gonna be disastrous.
Well, I mean, it's run its course. Like, they don't even know what they're doing. And people are talking about how it's time for the X-Men to go into space, like how they are in the comics. I know people like that. Personally, I find those stories the worst of the X-Men. Like, I just want the ones where they're in a school, like what it's supposed to be. They're in a school, Professor X is like mentoring them in a world that sort of hates them, and like just keep it to that. You don't have to go to outer space. Why are they time traveling all the time? Like, Days of Future Past was great, but it's one of those storylines where you're like, okay, they don't really have many more ideas left.
And also, to be honest, a lot of those, like, aside from the main core of mutants, very few of them can perform well in space.
Can what? Sorry,
could perform well in space. I don't know a lot of them that could really do much. It's the same problem with the Avengers. What's Falcon gonna do in space?
I mean, he's better than Hawkeye.
Or Black Widow.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen with that movie. I have trust. I have faith in the Russo brothers, though.
I do too.
I forgot that movie's this year.
Infinity War?
Yeah.
It is? I thought it
When?
was
I
next
mean,
year.
not 2017, but like May. So like this school year.
Oh shit, it's coming up.
It's going to be here pretty quick. Well,
Holy
I mean, this
fuck.
is
There's
it's already mid-September.
Okay, Ragnarok has to set something up then.
It does.
It must, yeah. I'm pretty sure it's the sixth Infinity Stone. So, but you got Ragnarok on the 3rd, November 3rd. So we basically get through October, and then you hit November, and then you hit the holidays. Then it's January, and February is Black Panther, and then it's just March and April, and then it's May. May 5th is.
Is Captain Marvel still after Infinity War?
I forget. They moved it. It's after the first one for sure. I think Ant-Man is after. I think Ant-Man is in July. Ant-Man and the Wasp, which is also a big one. Yeah.
March 6th, 2019 for Captain Marvel.
March 6th. Oh, okay. Well, it must be after the second.
Apparently
one.
there's a trailer out for it.
No. It's before the second Infinity War. No, there's no Captain Marvel trailer. No way.
They have the leaked footage from Comic-Con. Besides that, I don't think there's anything out.
Emerson, what's ahead of Captain Marvel? What movie comes before that?
Let me look up the new Marvel roadmap. Marvel roadmap. Okay, so this was updated fairly recently. So we've got Inhuman September 1st. We already passed that. Then we got Ragnarok November 3rd. February 16th, we have Black Panther. May 4th is Infinity Wars. Then July 6th, Ant-Man and the Wasp. October 5th, Venom.
October 5th? Didn't that get pushed back?
I mean, maybe, but this is from August 25th that this was updated.
Okay.
October 25th, Venom. December 14th is an animated Spider-Man movie.
Okay.
February 8th, Silver and Black.
What's that?
I think that's a TV show.
March 8th, Captain Marvel. And then May 3rd, Avengers 4.
That seems a little empty in that second part of 2018, isn't it?
A little bit.
I mean,
So after Infinity War, you're telling me there's Ant-Man, and then after July and Ant-Man, you're going to wait all the way until Captain Marvel?
I mean, there's Venom October 5th. We'll see what happens. Then there's Silver and Black, which who knows?
Silver and Black's not a movie, though.
Okay, then March 8th, Captain Marvel. There's like a big break. Then we have March 3rd or May. Then we have May 3rd, Avengers 4. Then July 5th, Spider-Man sequel. And then they have untitled movies slated for May 1st, 2020, August 7th, 2020, and November 6th, 2020.
So from July of this year all the way to March of next year, we won't have a Marvel movie.
Yeah. I mean, I'm sure other stuff will rise up to replace it.
I mean, I guess they're just taking a big break after Infinity War.
I mean, if you're going to, that's when you might as well.
Yeah. And then just setting up for the second one. All right, yeah. And then so the one last thing I have is they announced an X-Force movie.
What is the X-Force?
It's what Wolverine was in briefly with Deadpool, like what you saw in X-Men Origins. Wasn't
like that
X-Force?
weird military group?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not interested in it, but it looks like it's going to bring Deadpool and the X-Men in one movie.
Interesting.
Like legit X-Men, it sounds like.
Okay.
Like Ryan Reynolds Deadpool?
Yeah.
All right.
And I don't know if we ever talked about the stupid things that were going on DC, such as the Martin Scorsese Joker origin film.
I remember reading this somewhere. I don't think we talked about it though.
Yeah, Scorsese is a producer. I don't know who's directing, but
it's not going to be Jared Leto. Like they've said that much already, and I'm just like, who cares? Todd Phillips seems like is going to be the director, and there's no actor that's been mentioned other than it's not Jared Leto. And just,
That's for the best.
like it's going to be like Taxi Driver-esque.
What?
Yeah, you just like went digital, but
Why?
that I know. Also, I have strong opinions that the Joker's origin is not something that you should explore. It's better that he just appears. It's more interesting for the character. Even in the comics, like one of his famous quotes is like, "If I had a backstory, it would be multiple choice." That's part of what makes him mysterious, is that Batman never knows who he actually is. So if we know who he actually is, it's not good. Whatever. And then what else? Then there's like Suicide Squad 2 seems to be getting some traction finally. Like before they said it was coming out, and then they sort of stopped talking about it. Another one is Nightwing. Nightwing is like in the works.
This is not good for DC.
It's not. This isn't needed though. Like they don't need to do this.
Harley Quinn and Harley Quinn versus the Joker and Suicide Squad 2 will have Harley Quinn also. Gavin O'Connor is the writer-director for Suicide Squad. See, I actually think Suicide Squad 2 has potential.
Why?
Because all you need to do is send them on a suicide mission, a bunch of expendable characters, and have them die. I mean, those are fun movies. But, like, it's called Suicide Squad, and, like, they messed that part up. And not
okay,
only
but here's the thing. If Harley Quinn's going to be in it, they aren't going to kill her. They aren't going to kill Deadshot.
Yeah, she doesn't need to be in it. She doesn't need to be in it at all.
She shouldn't be. Didn't she escape?
I mean,
Yeah,
she's
she
going to be
did
in the
escape.
movie, so whatever. She'll be back in the Suicide Squad, but yeah, I mean, you could just take what you were supposed to do in the first movie, like Captain Boomerang. He's dead. Katana should be dead. They killed that one guy. I forget who he was.
The fire guy.
El Diablo.
Well, him too. But like, yeah, the sexist.
They killed Slipknot.
The sexist guy. Slipknot. Yeah, that's the guy. So I mean, they should have killed them all except Deadshot, and not even had Joker or Harley in it. I know Harley's in it in the comics, but I think she's so boring outside of Joker abusing her.
Yeah.
Which is like just marginally interesting to me. Like, she's supposed to be the butt of his jokes. That's
not
kind
a
of
strong, like, hero-y person.
They don't have a tragic love story. She's like an idiot who fell in love with him, and he keeps her around because he likes having something to kick around. And that's it. Like, that's the whole joke, is she's like, "Don't you love me?" And he's like, "Not really." And then she gets upset, and he like laughs, and like that's it. And then you're trying to make it a real thing where it's like they're so insane that they're in love. Like, shut up! It's so stupid. And like, I don't know, people eat it up. I thought it was awful.
Yeah, Halloween ate it up. Jesus Lord have mercy.
And then like, if that wasn't enough, they just like butchered the Joker. I mean,
And I feel so bad because I love Jared Leto, but
he's okay. I don't know. I think he's a little overrated. But going into that movie, like, there was a lot of criticism, but we didn't really know. But in hindsight, they tattooed "damaged" on his forehead. Like, now that you've seen the final product, that was as bad as it seemed. That initial image was as off the rails as we thought it was. So, I don't know.
Are you still voting for Willem Dafoe to be cast as the Joker?
Yeah, but at this point, my vote is to terminate this entire universe. I don't even care about Henry Cavill anymore. Like, I liked him. I give him a chance. Like, I think he's a good Superman given the right script, and I don't think I think he gets way more criticism than he deserves. But at this point, the only reason I would keep anything from this universe is to not lose Gal Gadot. But like, they could honestly just reboot the whole thing with her. You could reboot from Wonder Woman. You really could. You really could. Just reboot the whole damn thing. She's the one that meets them all. Just have her meet them and reintroduce everybody. Because this Ben Affleck thing, I mean, the sources are coming out that he's going to, like, I didn't report this because it's like not real news, but sources say that he's going to announce his departure from the role after Justice League, so it doesn't hurt Justice League movie sales. It's like, yeah, we can see that coming based on how little he talks about it.
Well, didn't Everett say that at Comic-Con, Ben Affleck was like kind of saying he didn't want to do it anymore?
No, they asked him and he dodged every question that they asked.
It's like, you don't dodge that question. If you're going to do it, you're like, yeah, I'm going to do it. There's no reason to say anything else unless you're not doing it. So he's not doing it. And I'm glad, because that doesn't even make sense. Like, I give Zack Snyder credit for casting Gal Gadot, but he deserves the blame for casting Ben Affleck. And I don't even mean that he's as bad as she is good. I'm just saying, like, he's too old, and that whole vision was a mistake. If you're trying to create a universe, you don't start out with a 50-year-old superhero who's a human. It's like, he's not even like superpowered to where you can just be like, well, he's a god, so whatever. It's a man, and he's already 50. Like, seriously, it takes like 2 years to make a single movie. Do the math. Like, there's no universe there. Batman is the most bankable of all the heroes. So at this point, I mean, I still think people would show up more for a Batman movie than a Wonder Woman movie, but it's close. It's much closer than we would have expected. Also, I think that Justice League is going to break Wonder Woman's credibility a little bit.
Why?
Because it's not the same person who wrote it. It's just not. So I don't think you're going to get the Wonder Woman from Wonder Woman. You're going to get the Wonder Woman from Batman vs Superman, who is okay, but like, do you have faith in their ability to now that they've seen Wonder Woman, even though this movie was in production, do you have faith in their ability to make it like her? This movie was done before anyone saw the final version of Wonder Woman. So, I mean, not done, but like,
it was basically finished.
Her character was decided upon in this movie, and it has nothing to do with Wonder Woman. So, I don't know. I just wipe it clean, man. Just wipe it clean. So see, I don't like to criticize without giving my own idea, so that people can criticize me. But what I would do at this point is I would just take the cast you have now, and just out of continuity make the comic book movies. So make the most famous ones you can think of. Make Superman Red Son. Make The Dark Knight Returns. Like, don't loosely base it off of it and fit it into your storyline. Just make that movie. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. You're saying like, yeah.
I feel like they already do that with the animated movies, though, don't they?
Yeah, I know they do, but like, the difference between that is, like, they're giving you the actual comic book storyline in those animated movies, and the live action ones are supposed to be their own universe. But that doesn't make sense if your live action universe sucks. Like, it literally is awful. So, like, they need to just do Flashpoint. Just make that movie with the actors you have. It doesn't even have to be all the same actors, but you have Ben Affleck. He's already been Batman. Like, if you want to just make like a throwaway movie to make some money and get people talking, make the Flashpoint movie. You have the right guy to play the dad. I forget his name. The comedian.
He also plays Negan in The Walking Dead.
Yeah, Negan or something. But how do you pronounce it? Is it Negan?
You have to understand, me pronunciation, it's not.
Yeah,
it's Negan.
It's Negan. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
Negan is like an alien's name. But yeah, so you get that Jeffrey Dean Morgan is his name. You got him. Whatever. I mean, whatever. So it's just like, wouldn't you guys rather see just make the good storylines now? We don't
Well,
need
here's
to
the other thing.
see.
If they did Flashpoint, if it was good, they can reboot it from Flashpoint. They can completely change everything. They can say it's a whole new
They
universe.
can.
Look,
And
if
I
it
believe the
sucks,
Flash
it's the final movie.
is Flashpoint now.
I hope
Did you guys know
so.
that?
Oh God.
They said it was.
Then-
But
I can't see the actors pulling that off though. Like, can you imagine like, because like you know what happens in Flashpoint, like where everyone like goes up against each other. But can you see like Gal Gadot playing like an evil Wonder Woman?
I could. But the only thing is that the only movie that's definitely getting made right now is Aquaman, because it's like already in production. Everything else, I think, could be canceled at any moment. Like we're a month and a half away from Justice League, maybe 2 months, and that's it. Like if that thing tanks, expect. Like it would be shocking if Aquaman got stopped mid-production, but expect the Flash, like expect that to be shelved. Expect Nightwing and Batgirl, and all that shit. Expect all that to go away.
Yeah, I feel like this is just a massive case of them getting ahead of themselves before anything actually like succeeds.
I was looking at my action figure collection, and I'm like, I think until I get a bigger place, I'm gonna take the Terminator stuff out, and I'm just gonna have Marvel, Star Wars, and DC. And then I'm looking at my DC figures, and I'm like, I could put Heath Ledger's Joker in the box, and I could put Christian Bale in the box. Like, it's like I'll put him back out when I have more space, but I think I'd rather give it up to the Marvel characters now. And Star Wars can stay, but aside from like Michael Keaton and Jack Nicholson, those figures, I there's nothing. I don't even want to buy anything from, like, I don't know.
It's just been such a disappointment.
Overall, it's just dead in the water. Like I'm a lifelong Batman fan, and I'm just like, they've made 3 Ben Affleck Batman figures, and I've only bought the armored version, which is actually their 4th version. They've made 3 other ones, and the only reason I like the armored version because I like the armor, and you can't really see his face, so like it doesn't really look like Ben Affleck. It just looks like a cool Batman. But disappointment. I don't know. I kind of wish it would just die. But have you guys heard that they're making a Titans show?
Oh yes, I'm excited about that.
But it's going to debut on their streaming service.
Never
DC's
mind.
own streaming service.
Why?
So I'm not going to be watching that.
No,
I don't
I
need
won't be
another
either.
streaming service.
I'm gonna stick with Netflix.
I have
and
Netflix
Hulu.
and Amazon.
Dude, I do.
I know some people like Hulu
watch it
too.
illegally.
But I don't have enough time. Yeah, I don't have enough time, and I don't have HBO. So like Game of Thrones is like I'm gonna I have to like pirate that stuff, but that's like for 8 weeks of the year. That's why I don't have HBO. Is like I'm just not gonna watch anything else on it. Yeah, so it's like a DC streaming service, really. So I can watch your 23 hours of filler on Arrow, really. Like seriously though, I mean, but that's what it is. It's 23 hours of nonsense.
Oh wait, they're,
And
I
they're
haven't
putting
watched
the
any
CW
season
stuff
of
on
Arrow
there.
after the second one.
I'm sure eventually, because all that stuff's on Netflix right now, isn't it?
Yeah, so that means they're gonna take it off Netflix.
I would expect it to. Yeah.
Oh, that is BS.
You're already going to see that with the Marvel and Disney movies on Netflix.
But didn't they agree to stick some Disney movies still on Netflix? Like, didn't they make a compromise with that?
I think maybe what you're thinking of is the Netflix shows, like the Defenders. They will stay on Netflix because that's Marvel TV, but the Marvel movies will go and the Disney movies will go. But I don't know about
it. Was about the Disney movies. Like, people were outraged that they were taking like stuff like Mulan and like The Lion King off. So they like said like, yeah, we'll keep a couple Disney movies on Netflix. Like, I thought that's what happened.
I mean, the way you're saying it doesn't sound like an official statement. Like, which ones would they keep, and why? Why would you split half of your content? You know what I mean? Like,
I meant like the animated movies, like the animated old Disney movies, like the.
well, yeah, but if you want people to buy your streaming service and that's where all the Disney stuff is, why would you like leave some in Netflix? Like, Mulan is like one of the best ones. That's my favorite one. I don't know. Do you like where did you hear that?
I don't know. I just remember reading an article a long time ago about how there was such an uproar about Disney saying they're going to make their own streaming service and how they're going to take all the Star Wars stuff, all the Disney stuff, everything with their logo on it off of Netflix and all the streaming services that people got so mad that they basically demanded that they keep some of the animated movies on Netflix. And I was under the impression that Disney said, okay, we'll keep a couple of them on there, or all of them. I don't know. It's possible, but I might be mistaken.
Without seeing like the numbers, I would say that making your own streaming service is a mistake because let Netflix pay you for it, but on top of that, people just want it all to be in one place. Like, if you're gonna have 8 streaming services, that adds up, and I'm not gonna have time to check them all to even see. Like, I want to watch Amazon Prime has The Tick, so I have that, but like it's been out for weeks now. It just took me until this week to realize that it was even on a platform that I could watch. I just assumed it was on like some other thing.
Okay,
it's like,
okay, here we
I
go.
have it. Huh? What'd you say?
Disney movies that are currently on Netflix will be available for streaming until the end of 2019, at the very least. New Disney films that are released theatrically through the end of 2018 will also be available on the service until then. This means Netflix will stream the upcoming Star Wars Episode 8, Toy Story 4, and Han Solo movie, among several other films slated to come out. The end of the deal between Disney and Netflix marks a short run for the streaming service, which says, so yeah, that's it.
Alright, that's probably what I read. They're making a Toy Story 4?
Yes.
Aren't they kind of beating a dead horse with that by now?
Yes. But if it makes money.
I don't know. I didn't like Toy Story 3 at all.
Not at all. I mean, it was good.
I don't know. Like I love 1 and 2. 3 just didn't get me. Like Finding Dory didn't get me for some reason.
I didn't really care for Finding Nemo either, to be honest.
I liked Finding Nemo, but that was, I guess, when I was a kid. I haven't really watched it as I'm older, but...
Yeah, and I don't know. Like, I was a little too old for it, I think, when it came out. Jade likes it a lot, and she loved Finding Dory, but I don't even know that I watched it. But, yeah, I don't know. I guess that's all. What do you guys got?
No, I don't have anything else to really talk about.
I've been meaning to get over and watch Narcos Season 3, but I just haven't had time. And we've been playing Destiny. How'd you guys do on the raid last night?
Oh, well, we got through 5 of the sections last night, and then we played for 3 hours today, including with Jade. And we were not able to get through the 6th section. We were stuck at the same section.
It seems generally easy enough, though. But
last night we spent about 7 hours trying to do it. And it fell apart pretty quickly.
Yeah, and what you were saying earlier about the drop rates being like horrible, I agree. Because out of 7 hours of work, we got one piece of armor.
So from yesterday and today combined, that is what?
10 hours.
Let's say 9 to 10 hours worth of work. I got 1 rocket launcher, and Cameron got 1 scout rifle.
And I got a
it's just not worth my time, honestly.
No, and it's ridiculously difficult. Like every time, like for example today. So yesterday, we spent about an hour and a half on a specific part. Here's how the part works. You have to have 4 people standing on plates, and then these monsters come up to kill you, but you can only stand on the plate for 50 seconds before you start taking damage, which means you have to rotate. Then you hear a gong, and you have to destroy all these things. Like, that's difficult. Then we got to a part where it was a stealth part, where if you are seen by an enemy, they cause a 1-minute countdown that insta-kills you. And you have to find a way to kill all 6 of these enemies, but the only way to do that is to sneak around the map and collect, like, bonuses that make you stronger. So we played this, and it was just one person messing up after another, and insults left and right, and just, oh my god, it was awful. And then today you have to run an obstacle course, but the only way the person who's running the obstacle course needs people outside opening doors for him. And if someone messes up at any point, everyone dies, and you have to start over. And you have to run the entire obstacle course 3 times in changing configurations. Then all 6 of you have to run it in a changing configuration.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's insane. Jade, ironically, did really well, and then she left. And then we had another person come who wasn't as astute to what we were doing. And then
Who is that?
I'm not saying it was a Canadian. But
All
yeah,
right.
it's been a disaster so far.
Yeah, Destiny changed one mechanic that I'm not really that fond of. In favor of the token system, they got rid of the leveling system from the last gen. So now instead of leveling up per vendor, like there's a Vanguard level, a Cryptarch level, blah blah blah, they have tokens for everything, and that's what they're encouraging.
But you don't
with the
get
raid
anything
now.
good from turning in the tokens. I'm guessing in the next 2 or 3 weeks, Destiny's going to start becoming less played for us, honestly, because there'll be nothing left to do.
Yeah, but that's what they were encouraging with the raid, is that you're not supposed to get raid drops from the raid anymore. You're supposed to get the tokens, to which you go to the vendor and get the raid drops from
And
him.
get the stuff. So were you guys able to do that at least?
No,
Ironically,
because we
you have
can't
to
access
beat
the vendor
raid.
until we beat the raid.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. We got some
Well,
pretty good
'cause-
stuff from Trials, though. Like, Trials was pretty decent.
Trials
at the
is
start.
fun. You should play it with us if
'Cause
you're
that-
interested.
That one mechanic was my wife just came home with something she should not have bought. Food related. Anyway, yeah, one thing I remember is like when we were doing the raids before, we would do parts even though we couldn't finish it due to poor teamwork. We would at least get stronger. Like
Yeah, as you're doing
now
it.
that
But now you don't.
see, honestly, like it's not that I'm all about grinding, like wrestling mentality. I'll sit there and I'll work for something, but I just don't understand what the hell is it all for in the end.
I'm going to tell you right now the entire secret to Destiny. You play to get better gear, so you can try something that's harder, so you can get better gear, so you can try something that's harder.
Yeah,
Until
but
you
like
hit the
when you say
wall.
try something that's harder, it's like artificially harder.
Yes, harder in the sense that they make the enemies tougher and there's more of them and you can die less.
Yeah, like you don't like it doesn't find new ways to challenge you. It basically
No.
just keeps moving the finish line further
Yeah.
back.
Like,
Yeah.
the raid, in a perfect example,
Okay.
is not even that difficult. It's just tedious, and the
just
mechanics are
die.
hard
It's
to
tedious
learn.
because here's the thing. All of the way the raid is set up right now, if one person messes up at one point, you all die. And you want to know what else has been added to the raid, Kia?
What?
You're now only allowed to have a total of 6 revives in each area. So you're not allowed to revive people infinitely, and not everyone can revive each other. For example, Blake might die next to me, and it won't let me revive him. Someone on the other side of the map has to revive this individual. It randomly assigns that. And
Oh, I don't like that. I like that
Even-
one person does it, but you should know who it is.
no, it doesn't tell you who it is. It's totally random. Here's the other thing. If someone stays dead for 25 seconds, everyone else dies and you lose the game.
Damn.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
And by the way, this is the normal mode. They have a harder mode than this.
What light level are you supposed to be to do this?
Technically 270.
Dude, I'm 276 or some shit like that.
Yeah, I know, and Ev's 293. And it doesn't matter.
That's weird. I feel like they're gonna nerf it probably.
I hope so, because this is ridiculous. They have to make it so you get gear guaranteed from chests, and they have to make it so that you can... I don't know, that's got to go away. I hate it beyond belief.
Yeah. Okay. Well, anyway, so next week we will do Kingsman 2.
Yeah.
All right. So, Everett, you got this one?
Yep.
All right. Send it over
Awesome.
to me. See you guys next week.
See ya.
See ya.
Later.